They're not bricks in your backpack, they're portals to infinity. Battlefields and playgrounds, escape pods and time machines. These aren't consoles, they're revolutions, titans, ready to rewrite the rules. From pixelated legacies to future-forged dreams, this is the year handhelds break free. This is the year gaming escapes the screen, the living room, the expectations. This is the year it fits in your palm and explodes in your soul. On number 8 comes Nintendo Switch OLED. Because the Nintendo Switch is a mix, you don't have to use the Switch OLED as a mobile device. But if you don't, you're missing out on its best feature. Like most tools, an OLED screen can change things, and the bright colors in many Nintendo games make this even more true. They really stand out in games like Super Mario Bros. Wonder and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. With the OLED update, Nintendo also fixed the kickstand, which made playing on a table a lot more practical. The speakers were also pretty good. There are some problems with the Switch OLED. The battery life is just okay. There are better designed handhelds, and the old hardware often has trouble connecting to third-party consoles. But there isn't a better all-around mobile system out there. It has a beautiful 7-inch 720p OLED screen, a clean and simple user interface, and an amazing software library with some of the best games ever made. On number 7, we will discuss Steam Deck OLED. We liked the first Steam Deck a lot, even though its weight, battery life, and LCD screen weren't great. All three were taken care of by Valve with the Steam Deck OLED, which makes the first attempt seem like a rough draft. Since we started using it, the new, bigger 7.4-inch HDR screen with a maximum brightness of 1000 nits has been blowing us away. It has much better colors and clarity, and OLED's signature deep blacks make it hard to go back to LCD. You can also tell that the Deck OLED is a little lighter than Valve's first attempt because it lasts longer between charges. This is a portable PC called the Steam Deck OLED. However, its custom-built OS makes it feel a lot like a platform. You can easily get to your Steam library in desktop mode, which is also great for tweakers who want to play old games and add other apps. Not every game will work the way you want it to right out of the box, and the Deck has a hard time running current AAA games smoothly. Also, it's still a big, bulky handheld device that people with smaller hands might not be able to handle. But the Steam Deck OLED is the best choice if you want to play PC games on the go. And if you want to save some money, you can still find the LCD model that is just as powerful but costs less. On number 6, we have Nintendo Switch Lite. In a different setting, you might criticize the Nintendo Switch Lite for not being as good at big screens as its more expensive siblings. That being said, we're only talking about small systems here, which is where the Switch Lite really shines. The smaller size and lighter weight of this Switch make it easier to hold and take with you instead of the bigger one. The Lite even has a real D-pad, which the regular model doesn't have. This may make it the best retro shooter ever. It's hard to look at the Switch Lite's 5.5-inch LCD screen after playing games on the Switch OLED, but if you can get past the fact that it's not as good, it's still a great screen. The 1280x768 quality stays the same on the smaller screen, which makes games look even better. The battery life is fine, and the great Switch library works just as well on this as it does on the original Switch. You should think about whether you'll miss being able to dock it to a TV or features that are only available on the Joy-Con, like HD Rumble. If all you need is a portable device and don't mind not having OLED, the Switch Lite is a great and cheap choice. On number 5, we will talk about Asus ROG Ally. When it comes to popularity, the ROG Ally is the first tablet that really gives the Steam Deck a run for its money. When it comes to specs, it clearly wins because it is much more powerful and has a screen with a better definition. No matter what browser you use, the Ally can run any PC game you want. This is not as easy to do with the Deck's Linux-based OS. Even though it doesn't have an OLED screen, the full HD quality is definitely better than the Deck's, and the 120Hz changeable refresh rate means that screen tearing isn't a problem very often. There are times when the ROG Ally can't run games at 1080p without slowing down. The extra power quickly drains the battery, even when it can. It was hard to play for more than 3 hours. An even bigger problem is that Windows 11 isn't made to work with these kinds of machines. But the ROG Ally is a fun mobile PC game player if you don't mind how hard it is to navigate and how strange it is that some apps won't work with it. On number 4, we will discuss Panic Playdate. The Playdate is not like any of the other mobile games on this list. Instead of putting the experience of playing games on a big screen on a small device, Its library only has custom games, most of which use its unique crank handle. This toy is meant to be very simple. It has a black and white screen that isn't even lighted, and most of the games are short and sweet, best played 1 minute at a time instead of for hours. In that case, it is a much more niche product than the Switch or the Steam Deck, but you can't go wrong if you like collecting pretty things, and the bright yellow Playdate is definitely one of them. It's also a nice change from your handheld games. On number 3, we will talk about Lenovo Legion Go. The Lenovo Legion Go makes its case with a huge and beautiful 8.8-inch, 1600p, 144Hz screen and removable controllers that look like those on the Switch. Then, a new FPS mode makes one of them into a vertical mouse. There's no doubt that it makes you feel more accurate than when you use rotary sticks. Windows lets you run almost any game, just like the ROG Ally. Lenovo's handheld is fun to use when it works, but the Legion Space program was a pain. The best original quality also doesn't work well for most games. It will be dead in no time if they do that. For now, if you have Game Pass, the Legion Go can be used as a handheld Xbox with a great screen. That's a big plus over the Linux-based Steam Deck, which can only stream Xbox Game Pass through the cloud if you install Windows, which is a messy process. On number 2 comes Logitech GCloud. This small computer runs on Android and already has most of the big cloud game services set up, such as Game Pass. The 7-inch 1080 screen is very good, and it's easy to hold. Aside from the tools that come with it, though, it doesn't have much else that your phone in your pocket can't do. Since you already use apps like Xbox Cloud Gaming or Nvidia's GeForce Now, you should decide if you want to buy one. It's clear that playing Starfield is easier on a gadget made just for games than on your phone. It can be pretty great if your internet speed and Wi-Fi signal are strong enough. Also, the GCloud is basically just an Android computer, so you can get games for your phone to play when you're not online. The battery lasts a long time, up to 12 hours if you don't play many games locally, because computers in the cloud do most of the work. Some people will always be skeptical about computer games, and the G computer is definitely a strange device that doesn't come cheap. But this handheld does a lot of things you could want if you're into live games. On number 1, we have PlayStation Portal. Sony has made portable games for a long time, but the PlayStation Portal is not the same as the PSP or Vita. In fact, it's not very useful unless you connect it directly to your 5 pounds. Just like when you use the free PS Remote Play app on your phone, the Portal streams games from your device. This one is different because it has real DualSense buttons on both sides of the 1080x60f screen where you play games. Without a doubt, the PlayStation Portal is a very specific gadget, made mostly for 5 pounds owners who have to give up the TV a lot of the time. If your home Wi-Fi isn't fast enough, you'll probably have problems with how things work. It's nice to be able to play 5 pounds games on a big bright screen without giving up the DualSense's haptics and adjustable triggers though. The battery life is also surprisingly good. There are a lot of better gadgets on this list than the PS Portal. It's just not meant to be used outside the house and doesn't support any kind of cloud streaming. You might be able to use it as a handheld if you're in the right market and your internet is good enough. Which console captured your attention the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on the latest in gaming tech, make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell.